I'm Rich Tehrani from the TMC newsroom here in Massachusetts with Alan Percy of AudioCodes, and today we're going to be discussing HD VoIP. Alan, how are you?
Very good, very good. Thanks for having us here.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thanks for being here. I'm sure the viewers have heard a lot about HD VoIP and they're very curious about it.
Sure.
Can you give us an overview?
Sure. Well, HD VoIP is high definition voice over IP is about enhancing the audio experience for users of voice communications. It starts out really with an understanding of what is not HD VoIP, which is narrowband voice, which is a big piece of what the PSTN's built out of today. And what we're going to do is extend that fidelity significantly through IP communications.
So you talked about narrowband. Can you let the viewers know precisely what is
Sure.
narrowband, and tell us more about it?
Okay. So narrowband communications, which is again what you're using today probably in the PSTN, is the result of some work that was done in the late 50s. We suffered through all this voice quality through all these years. We've got all these new toys and gadgets that are HD. But the sampling rate that's used to digitize your voice on the PSTN, basically at 8 kilohertz, is what causes a restriction of quality in your voice communications. And that digitization at 8 kilohertz results in about a range of audio only from about maybe 500 hertz, maybe up to about 3.4 kilohertz. So there's a tremendous limitation on the kinds of information that's in your voice. So it's very hard on the regular PSTN to tell the differences between N's and M's, to hear the differences between words like bold and gold, because the frequencies that make the differences between those letters are stripped off because of this sampling rate.
So basically, technology has evolved in so many different areas where we can carry our entire music library with us in our pocket, and we can have supercomputers on our desktops, but the technology for voice transmission is half a century old. Is that what you're telling us,
right.
Alan?
Yeah, believe it or not, so much has changed in the industry, right? From the iPods and some of the other high technology toys that we play with today, HD television, et cetera, et cetera. But the bottom line is the current PSTN technology that you're using to make phone calls still is based on this 8 kilohertz sampling rate. And that's what we're really changing. That's the biggest difference when we go to HD, is what we're going to be doing is we're doubling the sampling rate up to 16 kilohertz, and that significantly widens the spectrum or the frequencies that are in the human speech that can be carried over the conversation. So that's what makes the difference about hearing the variations between, again, bold and gold and those kinds of words, or 15 or 50. You can hear the difference on an HD phone call that you can't hear the difference between those on a regular call.
So in order to have an HD VoIP conversation, I would need HD VoIP coders. Is that correct?
Correct. Yeah. So our overall strategy that we've branded, our umbrella strategy is called HD VoIP, and includes a number of industry standard voice compression algorithms, which include G722, which is a wireline wideband coder. It also includes AMR wideband, EVRC wideband, and also the most important one is Microsoft's real-time audio. So this culmination, or this collection of voice coders, we'll be supporting in our transcoding resources, and also in our conferencing engine, in our IP media platform, and also in our new line of IP phones.
So transcoding, do you want to just let the viewers know precisely what that is? The
Sure.
transcoding engine?
Sure, yeah. Well, transcoding is about the conversion from one format to another. As you can imagine, let's say, for example, a service provider is a wireline service provider, and they want to send a call over to a wireless provider. The wireless providers typically use either AMR or EVRC to be able to do the conversion from one format to the other. Right now, they're doing it over the PSTN, but in the HD IP world, there needs to be an engine that does that conversion from one to the other, and that's what transcoding is, a conversion from one format of voice to another, and that's what we'll be addressing right away in our HD strategy.
So it's safe to say that most of the viewers don't have HD VoIP right now, and so they aren't familiar with it. And I know that a question they must be thinking is there really that much of a difference? Can I really hear the difference?
Yes.
Can you really hear it, Alan?
Yeah, matter of fact, it's funny you asked that question, because One of the things that has really hit us when we started to use the technology is how it becomes by far the most prevalent means of communicating. We really lean towards it, much like when you get your HD television. So what we've done is we've set up a dedicated demonstration page on the AudioCodes website. So you can go to audiocodes.com/hdVoIP and you can hear the difference. There's a live demo on that. You can play it over your speakers in your PC. You can hear the difference between narrowband and wideband conversations. So that demo right there shows you, but I can attest as a user of an HD product in our own offices that it is by far the preferred mechanism to talk to others inside our company because of that.
So whenever there's a new technology that comes out, there's always early adopters that embrace the technology before the rest of the world. So in this particular case, do you have any idea who might be the early adopters of HD VoIP?
Yeah, we probably, one of the biggest challenges in the marketplace right now that the market's suffering from is a little bit of a commoditization that's happening in the service providers. They're struggling with trying to figure out a way, how can I make my service different without just doing billing tricks, right? Because they're struggling making money. So HD is one of the ways that they can differentiate themselves, and we think the service providers, the voice over broadband service providers specifically, are going to be one of the very early adopters of this technology. Also at the same time, we think the enterprises are already starting to adopt it, and that's through some of the tools like Microsoft Office Communicator and Skype. They're already actually using HD products today. The trick is that those islands today, they can't talk to each other in HD. And that's where our transcoding engine comes in, is to allow the different islands, the Microsoft RTA and the voice over broadband service providers, to let them talk back and forth between each other in HD.
So really allowing the dream of HD VoIP to become a reality across the entire industry.
Exactly. And then moving on to other applications like conferencing, for example, allowing multi-party conferences, three-way calls, those kinds of things in an HD environment. That's really our target.
So what products in your portfolio are going to support HD, and will that evolve?
Sure. Well, it starts out with our IP media line, and also with transcoding inside our Mediant 3000. The Mediant 3000 is used as a gateway in many applications and is also used as a transcoding engine. We'll be, again, introducing HD VoIP in that platform. We're also going to be adding the HD coders to the IP Media 3000 platform for conferencing applications, either service provider or enterprise conferencing solutions. Again, so that multiple party conferences can use different coders and can have that high quality, rich experience. And then those all come out this next spring. And then in addition to that is our new line of IP phones, which will also be 100% across the line HD enabled, so that every single phone that AudioCodes makes will have HD coders built into it.
And who are the customers for those new phones that you have?
Again, we're going to start with this for voice over broadband service providers, IP-centrics, applications, and some of our OEM customers that want to private label and brand the equipment for their own use.
Okay, so I'm a designer. I'm watching this video right now, and I'm excited about the opportunity to develop some sort of HD application, HD VoIP application. What's the first step?
Yep. The first step obviously would be take a look at the demo we talked about earlier. We've got a number of resources on that page, some white papers and some preliminary information about the products that are coming this spring. And of course, we encourage them to click on some of the Contact Me Now buttons that are on that page, so that they can reach out to their salespeople and start to have a conversation about how we can integrate HD VoIP into their solution starting this next year.
Do you have any feelings on when HD VoIP becomes the predominant way that we all communicate?
Yeah, it's probably going to take a while. There's a lot of installed equipment out there, so it is going to take a while for the entire network, obviously, to transition. But we do think that there are going to be islands that will adopt it fairly quickly. Again, some of the service providers and some of the enterprises are already adopting it today, and once you hear it, you got to have it. So we think it'll spread pretty quick.
That's great. So thank you very much, Alan. We've been speaking with Alan Percy with AudioCodes. My name is Rich Tehrani with the TMC Newsroom, and our topic today was HD VoIP and how it enables better sound quality and the benefits of using HD VoIP for service provider, enterprise, and even for consumers. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.